So you see behind me, this is a mount, and it's a go-to mount. This particular one is by Celestron, but Orion and there are other people that make them. And the important thing about it is it's got a little computer in the keypad that knows the position of 40,000 objects in the sky. What's important about it, though, is that it will track the object in the sky. So believe it or not, the most important thing once you really get going and really get started is a good mount. Because the telescope, or as professionals refer to it, the OTA, the optical tube assembly, is basically can be replaced and switched out depending on what you want to look at. You want to look at a planet, you're going to look at use one kind of equipment. You're going to look at a nebula, you can use a different kind of equipment. But the mount becomes the most important thing, because unless it's steady and tracking the object, the best you can do is look at it. You can't take pictures of it or study it or anything like that. And the reason why I actually wound up getting a better mount first than you might otherwise do is because I live, like I said, just outside of Boston. There's a lot of light pollution. So you go look up at the skies. Some of your viewers that live near cities will know this immediately. You go up, look at the sky on a crystal clear night. You see one or two or three stars. You certainly don't see hundreds, let alone thousands, which you would if you were in the middle of the country. Mm-hmm. So what this will do for you is you can lock it on 3 different stars and then tell it where you are and what time of day it is. And then it will follow the sky. And the important thing for me is, because I can't see all the stars because everything's blocked by light pollution, I can say, yeah, I want to look at, I don't know, Antares. And it'll move to Antares and point on Antares and then track Antares. So it makes my life a lot easier and a lot less frustrating than if I used a manual telescope and I'm trying to, go through the sky manually. So, yeah. But that's the first thing. And that's sort of, I sort of started in the middle. Now we're going to go back to the beginning. I wish I had known what I know now. So for anybody watching this who wants to get interested in it, but maybe doesn't have a lot of money, a regular camera will do, as long as you can control how long the shutter is. So if you can just have regular camera and make it a 1-second exposure or a 4-second exposure or a 10-second exposure, literally, no lie, you put it on the ground, you hit the timer, because you don't want to touch it when you take the picture because it smears all the stars. Put it on the ground, let go, hit the timer, let it do a 2 or 3 or 4-second exposure, and you get a beautiful vista of stars. I mean, I've done that here just to test out some of my cameras. So you can start with the camera. What I use now, believe it or not, some of the shots that are on my Instagram page just come from this camera, which is, I don't know if you can see it, it's a Canon 77D, and I've got a telephoto lens on it that I can put it 55 millimeters for a nice wide shot, or I can zoom in for 255 millimeters to get an up-close shot. And in fact, a setup very much like this is what I used to take a picture of the Andromeda Galaxy. Interesting, just a side note, the Andromeda Galaxy is actually wider than the moon. So if it was brighter, you'd be able to see it with the naked eye. So it makes for a nice, easy target. That's the beginning stuff. Yeah, I checked last night. My first telescope I ever got was a Celestron Nexstar 127 SLT. And it comes with a mount similar to this one. And then it has a very nice, short, compact optical tube assembly. And I'll show it to you. Hold on. Can you see that okay?
Oh, yeah.
So that comes with a nice, short, easy-to-carry optical tube assembly. It's called a MacCast. And what it does is, instead of using a lens, it uses a mirror in the back to collect and focus light, and there's a corrective lens in front. With that telescope, I was able to find Jupiter, Saturn, Venus. Again, one of my best pictures I've ever taken of Jupiter, I took with that telescope and used stacking software.